Hello everyone, welcome to our HTML and CSS tutorial for beginners. If you are joining us for the first time, I highly recommend that you pause this video and go watch our intro lesson 1 video. There are some very important instructions in there that you need to follow. That way you'll be able to follow along with me as I get deeper and deeper into this course. If you've already done that, then check the description area and look for where it says lesson link. Just click that link so you can see exactly what I'm seeing over here. Alright, so in the previous lesson we did look at HTML structure. We also looked at the body element as well. Alright, in this lesson we're going to be looking at headings. We covered it a little bit in the previous lesson, but we're going to look at headings right here. Okay, so just read along with me here. Headings in HTML are similar to headings in other type of media. For example, in newspapers, large headings are typically used to capture a reader's attention. Other times, headings are used to describe content like the title of a movie or an educational article. HTML follows a similar pattern. In HTML, there are 6 different headings or heading elements. Headings can be used for a variety of purposes, like titling sections, articles, or other forms of content. The following is a list of heading elements available in HTML. They are ordered from largest to smallest in size. Alright, you can also say they are ordered in terms of importance. Okay, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. The H1 is used for the main headings. All other smaller headings are used for subheadings. Okay, so we have the H1 all the way down to H6. The following example code uses a headline intended to capture a reader's attention. It uses the largest heading available, the main heading element. Alright, so you can see here breaking news is placed within the H1 tag. Alright, so let's follow these instructions right here. And it's saying here, now that you know how to structure HTML elements, we'll spend the rest of the lesson building an informational website using some of the most common HTML elements. We've put some elements in to get you started, but you'll write the rest of the page on your own. Below the H3 heading that says features, add an H2 heading that says habitat. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and add H2 here. I'm gonna add the closing part of it, and then it says we need to add habitat in here. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit run. Alright, that looks good. Alright, it says below the habitat heading are the H3 heading that says countries with large brown bear population. So we're gonna add the H3 here. Alright, and inside of it we want to add this text over here. I'm gonna go ahead and copy that, and I'm gonna put it right in here. Okay, and I hit run, and that's good. Alright, so that's our H3. On the next line, add one more H3. Okay, so we're gonna add another H3. Alright, and this time around it says countries with small brown bear population. Let me copy this and paste that in here. Alright, and then the final one says On the next line, add the H2 heading that says media. Alright, so right here we're gonna add the H2 right here, and this one should say media. Alright, and we're gonna hit run, and that looks good. Alright, so the titles are really important because it's not just telling the browser which title to display, but also Google and other search engines do send bots to your website to crawl your website for content. Alright, that way, in case their audience are looking for something and your website does have that information, Google will serve that information to their audience. Alright, so when Google comes to your website, you got to tell Google which title is the most important. Alright, let's look at an example over here. This is sort of like a health blog, alright, that talks about benefits of lemon juice and water. Alright, when Google comes to this site, it's gonna crawl the content, but the very first part that Google pays attention to is the title right here. So this right here is the H1 title. Alright, this is the most important part of your blog. So if you have any keywords, this is where you want to make sure your keywords are showing in this part of the blog, which is the H1 title. Okay, and then when we scroll down, we now see H2 title right here. Okay, this is a sample of the H2 title. So you see that the titles are ranked. Okay, so this is how Google will crawl the website and rank your content, and can use your title as part of a way to rank your website. Okay, so titles are pretty important. All right, okay, there's another one here. You can see over here, this is going to be the H1 right here. You can see this is the H1, and then there are other titles in here. You can see maybe we could say this one will be a H2. All right, so this is why titles and headings are pretty important, not just for the browser to display it, but also for SEO purposes. Okay, so let's go over to the next one, and this one we're going to be talking about divs. All right, one of the most popular elements in HTML is a div element. Div is a short for division, or a container that divides the page into sections. Alright, so earlier on I showed you this diagram that I put together. Div is simply a specific part or a section of your website. Okay, so you can look at this one right here. This part here is a div, this part here is a div. It sort of divides up your website. Okay, so you can see this a div area, this another div, and then there's another div. Sometimes you can have a div inside of a div, like this right here. Okay, you have this div inside that div. Okay, so you get the idea, right? Div is sort of like different containers of your website. Okay, so if you look at let's go to CNN's site right here. Let me just go to their main site. So you can say this part here is a div right here, which contains the image, or this could also be a div right here. Okay, this could be a div, another div right here. This could be another div right here. Okay, it could stretch from here all the way here. This could be a div on its own. So divs are different. Divs kind of breaks up your website into different containers. Okay, this could be a div that holds advertisements, all right, and stuff like that. So you got the idea, right? These sections are very useful for grouping elements in your HTML together. So here, this code right here is showing you the opening and closing body, and then a div inside of it right here. Okay, also has a H1 and then the paragraph. Okay, divs don't inherently have a visual representation, but they are very useful when we want to apply custom styles to our HTML elements. Divs allow us to group HTML elements to apply the same style for all HTML elements inside. Alright, we can also style the div element as a whole. You can see how this can be done in the Learn HTML course. So we will cover all of that. We'll get to the CSS part of this course. Divs can contain any text or other HTML elements such as links, images, or videos. Remember to always add 2 spaces of indentation when you nest elements inside of div for better readability. Okay, so let's do these instructions over here. Below the H1 heading that says the brown bear. Okay, so right here it says the brown bear. Okay, it says we need to put something in there. Add the opening div tag. All right, so we're gonna add a div in here. Okay, so we want to add the opening div. Place the closing div tag after the H3 element that says features. Okay, so we're gonna place the closing div tag right after this features. Okay, so here it's saying that remember to use your space bar to add 2 spaces of indentation when you nest elements. Okay, so here, because we are nesting these elements right here, the H2 and the H3, we want to add some indentation. So we're going to add this indentation right here. Okay, and then we add that indentation. The whole idea of this is let me hit run. Okay, that's good. So the whole idea of this is to make it easy for us to read. Okay, we don't necessarily see that indentation on the console area, but it's just for us to make it visually easy for us to read the code. All right, so let's see, we still have some more instructions. Above the H2 element that says habitat. Okay, so above the H2 element that says habitat is saying that we should add the opening div. So I'm gonna add the opening div here. All right, and then close the div tag after the H3 element that says countries with small brown bear population. So right here we're gonna add another closing tag right over here, and then remember the indentation, because these ones are nested in. We want to indent these guys, all right, to make it easy for us to read. All right, let's indent them. Okay, then let's indent this guy. Okay, so that makes it easier for us. Okay, there we go. All right, that makes it easy for us to read. I'm gonna hit run, and then that's good. And then the third one says above the H2 element tag that says media, add the opening div. Okay, so we're gonna add the opening div right here, and place the closing div tag right above the closing body tag. Okay, so that right will go right over here. All right, and then make sure we indent media. Okay, and then we hit run, and there we go. All right, so guys, this is what div does for our website. Okay, it's really interesting, but I highly recommend you keep practicing this, and remember your indentations. The whole idea of div is that it breaks up your website into different sections. All right, something like that. Okay. So thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next lesson, in the next video. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.